Agence France Presse. Yes.
From AFP News Agency, British Prime Minister David Cameron has expressed a desire to talk to the President about have what he's called tough conversations about allegations of war crimes. Are you planning to meet him on a one-to-one basis, and if so, what will you say to him?
I will be meeting him, certainly, because I have already given an appointment, and we'll see what. When I meet him, he might ask me questions. I don't know. I will also have to ask some questions. So,
Okay. Let's respect gender. Let's see. At the
Good
back,
morning,
please.
Mr. President, Your Excellency. First, our grateful thanks for saving us from the world's most notorious terrorist who would have put Jack the Ripper to shame.
Can you identify yourself by name and your media establishment,
I'm Suha Odren Kasim. I'm Sri Lankan but based in Guinea, so part of the international media, Maison de la Presse.
Maison de la Presse.
Oui. So, as I was saying, if you'd have put Jack the Ripper to shame, our terrorist leader here, that Our Excellency managed to get rid of. Now, CHOGM is certainly not about Sri Lanka. We are merely the host country. I just have a questions for you, sir. You saved us from the terrorists. How are you proposing to save us from the Tamil diaspora who's hell-bent on taking our country to the gallows? And how can Sri Lanka address this problem? Because certainly the Elam ideology is not dead.
I have already invited them to come to Sri Lanka, have a dialogue with us. We can discuss, we can have a dialogue with them. We are ready to listen to them. And they must also listen to us. What actually happening is in Sri Lanka, they must come and see to themselves. There are a lot of, we have our strong opposition. There are LTT sympathizers. You must remember that 14,000 Sanandis who admitted that they killed so many people, they were fighting with the forces, and they went to villages and destroyed villages. They killed political leaders. But we have taken a risk by rehabilitating them and sending back within a period of 2 to 3 years, or even less than that. Now, child soldiers were released within 1 or 2 months. So you all must now, for journalists and for others, it's a news. For us, we have to face this life and death issue at that time. For 30 years we suffered. 30 years we suffered. And no one was making an issue over that. And didn't see, but unfortunately, fortunately we have, now what is? There are no, every day there was a dead body, or 10 or 15 dead bodies came to south or in there. Now there is no single bomb in Sri Lanka for last so many years, after 4 years. So at least there is peace with. But we have to win over them. My policy is to win over even the terrorists. So we are trying to negotiate. We are ready to talk to them. But one thing, that we will not divide the country. We will not allow anybody to divide this country. That's all.
My question, sir, excuse me, sir.
Hold on. May I ask that if, in the interest of time, because both His Excellency the President and the Secretary General have engagements right after this, so we're trying to manage time as best as possible. If you have had your question already answered, I ask that you please, not ask it again, but leave the opportunity for others to ask other questions.
Sir.
All right. This gentleman has been waving his hand for quite energetically, so I'll take your question.
Mr. President, I'm Hariharan from Tandi TV, India. My question to you is, the Honorable Prime Minister of India is giving the conference a miss. Are you disappointed or happy about the level of participation from India the Honorable Foreign Minister is taking part?
Even in Perth, I don't think the Prime Minister represented India at that meeting. So the foreign minister is here. I am satisfied. Why not?
But the Prime Minister has taken the Tamil sentiments into consideration. The Prime Minister has reportedly taken the Tamil sentiments into consideration from Tamil Nadu.
But he had not sent it to me like that. The letter says
I
different.
would
The
just
letter
like
says differently. by
I would just like to say that we respect the decision of any member state as to the level at which they want to send the representation. The outcomes of a CHOGM are dependent upon the engagement of the delegations as they exist, and I'm fully confident that the outcomes of this CHOGM will be very productive and very meaningful.
Indeed, you know, we should remind you that the absence of a leader is not a boycott. It's not equivalent to a boycott. We expect robust participation from every member country. And the fact that a head is not here physically does not mean that that country is not represented. All right, let's go to the other side. The gentleman over there, I'll take, after this, 2 more questions and we'll have to wrap it up. Yes, sir.
I'm very happy. They must assess the situation in Sri Lanka. Why not? Yeah, we have allowed them. Anybody who wants to know about it, they must have a dialogue with us too. Not with only with the sympathizers of the LTT or the proxies of the LTT.
I would like to add that the Commonwealth is working with both the government of Sri Lanka and the institutions in Sri Lanka to advance the commonly subscribed principles and values of the Commonwealth Charter, whether they pertain to the processes of democracy, to human rights, to the rule of law, judicial independence, separation of powers. All of these are issues on which we are working with Sri Lanka, but there's a very important consideration in this, which is to advance these causes, which are very much Commonwealth causes. It is productive only to work while strengthening national institutions that are the guarantors of these rights. So one of the principal objectives of the engagement from the Commonwealth has been to strengthen, for instance, the Sri Lanka Human Rights Commission. And we are working with them in difficult areas and sensitive areas like reconciliation, like torture by state security forces. And we expect in the time to come to make even more advances than we have been making.